Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about prompts and the prompt hierarchy, so the different types of prompting. So, the first question is, what is a prompt? A prompt is a cue of varying and individualized support. It helps to guide a learner in learning a new skill or demonstrating that new skill. So, prompting is a way to support the learners with these new skills and working towards that targeted response while also allowing them opportunities to respond independently. So, in other words, it helps to cue the learner to demonstrate the targeted skill. And why is prompting important? Prompting, again, when you're learning a new skill, it can be intimidating and scary, and prompting allows the learner to feel more confident and allows the learner to increase their independence on a new skill. So, as stated in Libby et al., a prompt can be used to teach someone a specific skill or set of skills. So, it can be used for varying types of skills, and if you're just wanting to work on one particular thing, or a variety or set of skills. Doyle et al. States that prompts allow the learner an opportunity to respond independently. So we're going to be discussing the different types of prompts, and we're going to list them in the least to most prompting. So the least amount of guided support with prompts to the most supported. So you want to allow the learner, before you begin to implement prompts, you want to allow the learner to respond independently. Um, so with this, the different types of prompting include visual. We'll discuss all of these in detail, but we'll go over them briefly now. A visual cue, it's just like a visual aid. So we'll talk about the different examples of those. Verbal, this is a vocalization, or you're verbally cueing the learner to respond in the way that you're looking at them to demonstrate. So you're verbally cueing the learner to respond appropriately. Gestural, this is using one's body. It can be nodding or gesturing. Modeling, this is the show me skill. So this is when you're going to show the learner and then allow them the opportunity to do the same. And then we have the different types of physical prompts. There's partial physical, and then the most supported prompt, which is full physical prompting. So a visual prompt, this is a visual cue that is showing or using a visual aid to cue the learner to respond appropriately. So this could include a picture, a card, a drawing, or another type of cue that just helps the learner to respond correctly or demonstrate that desired skill. So with the visual cue, the first thing that I think of is when I'm driving and I see a stop sign, it visually cues me to stop my car. So that stop sign acts as a visual prompt to um, help me to demonstrate the skill of stopping my car. A verbal prompt, this could include verbally telling or cueing the learner vocally on the correct response. So, an example of this may include saying, the letter P comes next when you're working with a learner on writing the word stop. So when they get to that last letter, the P, and you've asked them to write the last letter, and there is not a response, and you may say the letter P comes next, and then that cues the learner to write the letter P and finish the word stop. So a gestural prompt, this may include nodding, pointing towards an object, or just moving your body in a way that cues the learner on what the appropriate response is. So you're wanting to gesture to the learner for them to emit the appropriate response. So an example of this may be pointing to the next object that the learner is supposed to use. So you point to it, and then that cues the learner to use that object. So that would cue the learner to emit the appropriate response of using that object. So modeling, this is a very helpful prompt. It involves showing the learner what the correct response is. So you're actually going to demonstrate that response or the targeted skill and then allow the learner to respond by doing it independently. So it allows the learner to view an example and an opportunity to imitate that example and respond independently and correctly. So, an example of a modeling prompt would be showing a student or a learner how to squeeze the toothpaste out of a tube before allowing them to try. So, you might show them how to squeeze the toothpaste out and then give it to them and allow them the opportunity to demonstrate it as well. So, the different types of physical prompts, we're going to start with partial physical. It is similar to full physical, but it's more independent. So the partial physical prompt, this is includes a touch. So you might be if you're teaching a learner how to use the faucet, how to turn on a faucet, you might grab put your hand on theirs and place it on the faucet, and then you remove your hand and allow them the opportunity to turn on the faucet themselves. So this is again is a touch. So it's a light touch. So you touch and then you'll pull away. Unlike the partial physical prompt, our most supported prompt, the full physical, includes that hand over hand. So you're maintaining the touch. So with the faucet example, this may be placing their hand on the faucet and then turning the faucet on while your hand is still on there. So you're doing it together. Now, the full physical prompt, it is a physical manual guidance into learning the new skill. So again, it is the most supported and it's the last on the list for least to most prompting. Now, with all of these different types of prompts, again, they're listed in the least to most supported prompting. So you would start with visual and then work your way down. And these kind of help guide you to know what type of prompts the learner will need for specific skills. So we'll just review the different types of prompting. Visual, again, this is just a visual cue like a picture or a card. My stop sign example. Verbal, this is a verbal vocalization. So you're verbally cueing the learner on how to respond next or what targeted skill to demonstrate. Gestural, this is could be a nod, a hand wave, pointing, a variety of different things. Modeling, this is the show me. So you're going to, if I were teaching a learner, I would show them and then I would give them the opportunity to do it next. So you're going to demonstrate and then allow them to respond independently. Partial physical, this is that light touch. So you touch and then you pull away and allow the learner to respond independently. And then there's the full physical prompt. And this does include the hand over hand. So it's a physical manual guidance when demonstrating the skill. So the full physical prompt is definitely the most supported prompt. But with all of these, the best is to know your learner and start with visual and then give more support as needed. But you always want to give the learner an opportunity to respond independently on their own and then use prompts as guided support to help them achieve these new skills.